Welcome to the Frustrated Grad podcast.
Welcome. We're
Welcome.
inviting you.
You have mail. Well,
Please come in.
let me introduce myself. I am one of your hosts for the Frustrated Grad podcast. I'm Zach Hughes, the black dude who got this way from sitting in a hot car for too long. And my
Mm.
co- my
Surprised
co-host,
you didn't die of heat stroke as well.
yeah, my co-host is writer, movie fan, and guy who thinks that
Take your time.
Johnny Depp was exactly right. Tony Hoffman.
Well, I don't condone murder, little known presidential assassination, but yeah,
Well, I, I didn't say
he may have had a
what you.
point.
I don't. I didn't say what he was right about. I was thinking in terms of his interpretation of Jack Sparrow in the most recent Pirates movie. Because a lot of
Uh,
people were in dispute about this last one.
well,
They didn't
well,
support it.
I do not agree with that wholeheartedly.
All right. Then it's the other thing. Okay.
Okay, sugar. I hope the
The murder.
FBI isn't listening. Secret Service.
See, you have to find ways to not say things.
You brought
Like
it up.
like uh you reference classic rap groups that performed on Chappelle's show, and then you say, I wish that group could turn their name into reality. But that's a deep cut that
Yeah.
somebody will have to explore to figure out what that means. Anyway, what's going on, Tony?
Nothing much. I've been finally going through my Netflix list of things that I collect and save that I mean to watch, and I finally caught up on every episode of Black Mirror.
All right.
I'm kind of yeah. I can't believe I'm just now
How
watching it. It's a very good show. It's
Yeah, how did you let that one get past you?
because well, it's like one of those things where when something's like popular and people talk about how great it is and all that hype,
You're just so
so it
anti.
yeah, it makes me not want to watch it. So now
Yeah.
that the hype has died down, it's not in the zeitgeist at the moment. That now I can watch it in peace.
You're kind of like a weird mutation of the hipster gene. It's like, well, I liked that thing before it was popular. Like, well, I like that thing after its popularity died down a significant amount.
Exactly.
It's like now it's just right.
I
Um,
can watch it, enjoy it by myself. It's like this. It's like this show that only I'm watching. My own
yeah,
private show.
yeah, just like me in Smallville. Um,
What's your
but
favorite episode of Black Mirror?
of Black Mirror, I thought you were gonna ask a Smallville. Of Black
No,
Mirror,
I don't care.
I'm trying to think because there's some that were particularly good, but they were particularly painful to watch for the same reason. Like I
Yeah, I
think,
wouldn't say that like there's a bad episode. There are just some that are better than others.
yeah, I know the one that falls into this category for me is like it was so good, but I'll probably never watch it again. Is the episode called "The Entire History of You,"
Uh huh.
uh, where they're able to replay like all of their memories.
I
Um,
saw that once, and I
yeah,
probably won't see that again. It wasn't enjoyable to watch it like
yeah, it
some
was
of the other.
yeah, it was like torture because it was just like it was like a realistic
This marriage falling
relationship
apart.
fight, but it was fueled by technology that made their their arguments indisputable. Like I can
They had
prove
ammo.
it. Yeah, like sometimes in a relationship you wish you had that type of like evidence, but you see the dark side of it in this version. Um, I don't know. There's some arcs that some episodes go on. Like there was the I don't even know what the title was, but there was the one with Ron Howard's daughter. Uh,
Nosedive.
yeah, Nosedive. That it
I
started
like
out.
that one
Yeah, it
a lot.
started out. I was thinking like, what even is this one about? And I was I was thinking I wasn't gonna enjoy the episode, but just the journey that she goes on through that episode, is just like, uh,
I read a review that said like the first half hour, like the reviewer said he felt like he couldn't finish it, but then it immediately just it gets so much more.
yeah, it like it's funny. It's like it's almost like the first episode of entire series unto itself because it really introduces you to this world and gets you into who all the characters are, and then it goes nuts towards the and I just love the one line from there. It's like she's like holding this little stuffed toy hostage. It's like, I'll cut his head off and stick it on my ass. It's just like I think about that every so often.
You
Yeah,
think
that
about that every so often.
just
Sticking
sticking
this
a
doll up
toy.
there.
No, just that line and the delivery was just perfect. It's just like her facade that she was holding up for all this time just finally crumbled, and she just, uh, yeah. So that's one of
Just
my favorite.
this woman just falling apart
Yeah,
over trying to like get these
likes.
get this, yeah these likes and stuff.
Do 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 do.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What did
and
you what did you think of like the very first episode, the national anthem?
oh, that was the first one where I was just like, I really enjoyed the episode because I was sick freak, and then when the next episode wasn't seemingly in that same world, I was like, what the hell? Like, okay, so what is this show? Because I was like, okay, this is a weird world to be in for a series. Who thought of this premise? And then I was just like, oh, they're all different. It was like, okay. I was like, what's up with the prime minister and the pig? I hope they're happy together.
I when I watched that like last Sunday, like it's one of those things where you have to like pause it and like gotta like prepare yourself for the next like what's gonna happen next because it's just like that like emotionally just wrecking just.
Yeah, and it was funny because I've talked to a couple people who had only seen that episode. I was like, I don't know if I go watch this show. It's a weird premise. It was like, oh no, that's not like they don't continue on that path. Episode two, it's a completely different story. Um, Also, you see one of Daniel Kaluuya's best performances in the what is it, 50 million merits? I always
15
forget the
million merit.
15 million merits. Um, yeah, I enjoyed that one, and it's so weird. Like when you see these pieces laid out, especially in season one, it's like, so this is all connected. How? And then,
Technology.
yeah, but I'm saying as far as not even the theme, but it's like this actual universe is they're like all on the same planet, and you see those pieces and those Easter eggs later in the series, which which is really cool. This is the way to properly make a not a cinematic universe, but a shared universe, which everybody else seems to be screwing up at this point.
The dark universe
Yeah,
is
I mean, literally, the Black Mirror should have coined that phrase for themselves because theirs is literally the dark universe, and whatever this universal thing is gonna. It should just be called the crap universe because it's shaping up to be
the crap universe.
nothing nice. Yeah, I wanted to see Mummy just to know what the spectacle was about, but I still couldn't. I couldn't
No, I'm not gonna pay to watch it
muster
again,
up $5 even. So
even at that cheap of price.
yeah,
My I would say that my least favorite episode, even though it's not terrible, it's just like compared to the others, is probably a playtest, the
yeah,
video
because that's
game.
one that seemed like it could have been from Outer Limits back in the
Exactly.
day, or
Like one of the shittier Twilight Zone Outer
yeah,
Limits updates.
yeah, or like Tales from the Crypt. It was more of a generic type of episode. Um, I did enjoy. I do like the theme that like this technology starts to become recognizable after a while. It's like, oh, that's kind of a version of the cookie that we see in the White Christmas episode. Like we're starting to understand, like, okay, this is another way it makes sense that this world is all tied together. Because like he gets locked into this game world. So it's like a hybrid of being in that trapped in that world, like that Amazon Echo cookie thing from the John Hamm episode, mixed with like augmented reality. So it's like there's nothing too crazy where you can't see it being connected. The only one that I think seemed the farthest off, where he's like, well, how is this in the same world as all this other stuff, was probably Nosedive. But when I thought about it, I was like, well, maybe like we've never been in America in Black Mirror. Like maybe that's just what America is like, and in Britain is they have a whole other thing going on. Because
Yeah.
because like with 15 million merits, I was just like, okay, how's that connected? Because it looks like everybody in the world is just riding these bikes and they're all slaves. Then I was like, oh, that's just that show. It's a very extensive reality show. It just has this super long casting process. I was like, okay, so it's just a bunch of people underground for this show that in other episodes people just flip past and don't even pay attention to. Just like, wow, that's a lot of work for that. Makes
I
me.
haven't che- I haven't checked if they're making season four, but I assume they are.
I feel like they have to. It's
Yeah.
so good. Um, and I felt like uh, it was one episode where I felt so proud of knowing the reveal before it happened because I like spotted it. Uh, s- so you remember the military episode?
Yeah, yeah.
I was just like, okay, they're not monsters. They're just killing poor people. That's the theme, right? And I was so proud of myself when that reveal came. Cause
Congratulations.
yeah, because I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like it's a logical exploration of military mentality. It's just like, well,
Violently killing poor people,
yeah, it was like,
stabbing.
yeah, if you want to make your soldiers kill women and children, then you have to demonize them, and sometimes that can be quite literally, and it just like brings up images of like Nazi Germany and the propaganda of Jewish people as like human rats, basically. So it all made sense. And some of these episodes that were like, they're so profound, but it's just like I didn't want to see that. Like I didn't want those images in my head.
You did want to see, you just didn't know.
Yeah, and that was just the end of that episode is just so dark and sick. This is like, oh, you get to have
I love it.
your honorable discharge, your fantasy life that you get. You're just in this in this rundown, abandoned house with your fake wife, and I would just like to see a scene from the outside of just him living out this life. Like, hey baby, what's for dinner? And he just picks up a rat and bites into it. Just like,
Good eats.
yeah, yeah, some real dark stuff there.
Speaking of a Netflix, your favorite show, Girlboss, that I haven't watched a single second of because I don't give a shit, got canceled.
Yeah, I was enjoying that show. Uh,
What was so great about it? Because from what I read, it was just like this, loosely based story off of I think her name is Sophie Ambrosio, or
Something
who,
like that. But
yeah,
yeah,
who,
each episode starts off saying this series is a loose recreation of real events. Dot dot dot. Real loose. Uh,
like
and
a
then
vagina. Because
and then
that woman in real life, she's a real bitch.
I didn't know anything about the real story. I enjoyed,
And her company is bankrupt, by the way.
yeah, but I enjoyed the fictional dramatization of it.
Sure,
Uh,
fair enough.
yeah. So I mean, it's just like it reminded me of that show that nobody watched, but it was
There's a trend here.
it was a HBO series, How to Make It in America. Are you familiar with
Oh,
it?
I saw.
I
That show
need
is
the dollar,
notable.
dollar, dollar. That's what I need.
That that show is notable for having Lake Bell's first nude scene.
Oh well, thank you very much, Mister Skin. Um,
No problem.
yeah, there was a show about two dudes trying to start a company where they were making jeans, and I just remember what is it? Luis Guzman, his character, he was trying to launch an energy drink called Rasta Monster, although like it had nothing, he had no connection to like the Jamaican community. Like this
Rastafarianism.
Mexican dude trying to make a Rasta themed energy drink, but it reminded me of that, just like the scrappy underdog story of trying to get by starting your own business, modern version of that with eBay business, because I can relate to some of that. I don't sell
I think
dresses, but I
I
I,
think they
I
were
know people who do.
I think they were a little bit more likable than the lead on Girlboss.
I don't know. I feel like she's kind of one of those like it's it was starting off as like a counter to the just meek, mild woman archetype, but is becoming an archetype unto itself, just like sleazy woman. It was just she
Jesus.
drinks liquor and sleeps around and stuff like that. The like Chelsea Handler, Jessica Jones archetype, I guess
Fuck
you could
that.
call it at this point. So it's kind of that type of character, but the scrappiness fit into this story. But
That
yeah,
is now over.
yeah. I mean, I haven't finished season one yet. I'm probably like only a couple episodes off. So hopefully it has a satisfying conclusion. Or they can do my old standard of deploying that one episode where the
Everybody
bomb goes
dies
off. Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow,
because
that's a
I mean, 6 Feet Under had that one scene at the end, which they could have, when you think about it in hindsight, they could have just put that at the end of any season if they got canceled. Just like, hey, let's see how everybody dies. It's like that's a perfect way to do that, and it's pretty much that same idea. So there you go.
I don't think that that happened in real life. The whole world the whole world ended on this loosely based
I mean, or it
loosely
could have
loosely
just
based.
been the main cast of the show. It's just
Oh, okay,
they're in
okay.
a van going to Fashion Week, and it just flips over and they all roll off a bridge, or it just flashes to white before they land. You don't know if they survived or not, but show's over, so you can you can imagine it for yourself. I mean, Sopranos, they can always come back if they decide, hey, Tony's not dead. Oh wait, yeah, Tony is, because James Gandolfini is. But,
I would prefer if like the girl boss finale is like the whole show is just an episode of Black Mirror and she has to like fuck a pig on live TV for some
but
reason. Then I would watch.
I mean, they have the technology theme in there already, so one of the eBay buyers could be revealed to be secretly controlling her because as a result of her pedophilic endeavors on the internet. That one episode, I would say that was probably the weirdest one for me.
Shut
Uh,
up and dance.
yeah, because it was revealed that the guy was watching kitty porn, but it's like, how old is this guy himself?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just like
yeah.
that's an odd twist at the end.
You
Uh,
feel sorry for him throughout the episode, and then you find out that okay, he actually did something pretty
like,
bad.
ah, yeah, fuck you, guy. But it's just like should have cast a slightly older actor though, because just like, huh? Is that's one of the episodes where at the end it's just like I was confused for a different reason than I'm usually confused at the end of Black Mirror episodes. Just like, really, why this guy? But yeah,
Well, R.I.P. Girl Boss.
yeah.
You've been demoted. You're fired.
Well, speaking of female-led Netflix series, I mean, there's a couple I could talk about. Actually, they're pretty progressive in that way. But the one I want to talk about now is Glow. Have you watched it? It dropped on Friday.
Not yet.
Okay.
What's your early report?
I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I was surprised that it had the similar format to Girlboss, in that it's basically a half hour.
Women?
So well, no, it's a half hour. So I guess you would call that a comedy. It's not really a comedy, but it's not a drama or anything. It's really just a slice of life show. I mean, Mark Maron is one of the leads, so it's definitely has comedy in it, but
Is he
so
playing himself pretty much?
pretty much, I mean, I think that's about his range as an actor. I mean, I haven't seen too much of Marin, but from what I've seen him in, he pretty much does that. Uh, yeah, so I feel like uh, I've enjoyed the first two episodes. There's a nice little twist in the first episode, which I didn't see coming. So yeah, to not spoil anything, it's fun so far, and it's just showing like building up this
They are lesbians.
ragtag
That's
group.
a twist.
Hmm.
That's a twist that they're lesbians.
I mean, there's that. Uh, they they're not all lesbian. I'm sure they're. I don't think if anybody's been outed as of yet. There's there's a cool hashtag that comes from one of the episodes. I mean, some people wouldn't think it's cool, but uh, yeah, there's a few quotables so far in these first two episodes. But to not spoil a show that just dropped, because we have to have a new etiquette as far as spoilers in this age of Netflix, when somebody can watch an entire series before most other people know the show exists. So check it out. Also, I've been watching Orange is the New Black. I've continued watching that.
Yeah,
It's
I stopped. I'm like a couple of seasons behind. How's season 5 going?
it's still going good so far. I feel like I've only watched one new one since our last episode, but the riot is still going, and it is uh,
So
an,
this is gonna be a whole season of just them
I feel
writing.
like, what is it? I'm 4 or 5 episodes in, so at least half the season is gonna be that. There have been some emotional
I'm not a big fan
moments.
of when TV shows do that shit. It reminds me of like the last season of How I Met Your Mother, where they were at that fucking
Never watched it.
at that wedding or whatever the fuck it was
Okay,
for the whole final season. And like, come on, man.
who
I know they were
was the
like,
mother? Was it
huh?
anybody that we had seen before?
No,
Okay, so it's just a new person revealed
yeah.
at the end of the series.
At the end of the last season,
Okay, I always thought that that idea was interesting, but like whenever I saw a couple minutes of it, it's just like, yeah, it's just standard sitcom.
pretty much.
All right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
They're writing,
Yep.
and wackiness is still ensuing.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm excited for when I finish this season of getting into the basically the Australian version, Wentworth, and seeing like the hardcore version of that.
What's Wentworth?
It's a show that I always get suggested to me by Netflix on the underneath Orange is the New Black. It's an Australian series, which is pretty much the same idea, but
Is it
it's
like
more.
comedic or
No, it seems more
dramatic?
like Oz than Orange is the New Black's comedy interpretation of prison.
Is that a wacky, like a ragtag bunch of characters?
Nah, I mean, from the clip I saw on a recent episode of Gogglebox, there was a former governor or governess, I guess you would say, she's put into prison, and she had to basically uh, prove that she wasn't soft by maiming some women. So
Right.
there that goes. So it's more Oz than Weeds. So I'm excited for that. See some
Prison
women.
rape.
Yeah, I mean not the rape. Oz was more than just rape. Hashtag Oz. Oz more
Oh,
than
what?
rape. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
there were like
there was also brutal violence and shitting in
there were
people's mouths.
prison productions of like Shakespeare.
I don't remember that, but I remember there's J.K. Simmons. That's where I was first introduced to him as uh, "Don't Call Me Schillinger." He's a Nazi who was very specific about the pronunciation of his last name.
Ernie Hudson, Winston.
Oh yeah, he was the warden. Yep.
What's his face in the wheelchair? Our tour guide, the narrator,
Yeah, and he's playing. He
Harold Perrineau.
yeah, he's a fan of playing interesting characters because on Claws, he has another dramatic turn, but as a man who I would say has uh, mental disability.
He's retarded.
Oh, I would never have used that term. I would say he's somewhere on the spectrum, probably on the far end.
He's a simpleton.
A dimwit, you might say, or a
Dumbass.
nitwit. One, one of the
Yeah.
wits. Um, um, I'm sorry to tell you that your child is diagnosed as the medical
He's
term is
fucking retard.
dumbass. Let's get off of this line of
I appreciate your honesty, Doctor.
um, medical term would be dumbass.
So,
All right.
are you excited that apparently in the new X-Men Dark Phoenix movie coming out next year, Dazzler is going to be in the movie? What is your knowledge of Dazzler? Are you a big fan, or do you just think that this is some stupid minor character that's popular for some reason because
What?
he's a pop star?
Yeah, that's the only
Powers.
thing I know about is a pop star who has superpowers. And she was big in the 70s. She was a big disco
I think in like
star.
the, and I think in like in like one of the comics series that's out now of X Men, like she's like a more significant character,
Okay.
and like the whole pop star thing. I think that's why she's like, you know, in the a little popular
Okay.
now, and there's always that potential that they're gonna cast, somebody like some piece of shit like Taylor Swift or some other pop star in the role,
Yeah,
which is
that's the
just
rumor I heard.
terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to see a different take on.
A bad take.
I mean, there's been a lot of bad takes on X Men, so I would like to see something at least
But this
more
is
than
going to be
just.
bad too, because Bryan Singer's directing it again. And it's the
Uh,
same people, so
there you go. I mean, hopefully it at least explores more than just like, hey, we're mutants, we all have these incredible powers, let's just punch each other. Maybe there's more to it than that. Finally,
when
but
you look at like his all the movies that he's made, like there still hasn't been like a true X Men live action. I mean, the First Class I think is the best one that's
yeah,
ever been made, simply because like Matthew Vaughn directed it, and it's a little bit more colorful and fun
yeah,
and more. I was just more emotionally invested. When you look at like these Bryan Singer ones, I just don't think that he doesn't like respect the comic books and the characters as much. Because you remember that first one, like they were like those dark ass like
yeah. They were
uniforms.
ashamed to be
Yeah,
the X
exactly.
Men. It's just like black leather. That's how we neuter these characters.
And all the great the Chris Claremont stories. Like they always fucked up the Phoenix story. They're gonna fuck it up again. And like
Yeah,
all the
I mean they seem to want to just cram Phoenix in at the end of movies instead of like focusing on what it actually is. Just like, hey, this is weird. It's just like, and then is the
it,
most
it, it doesn't
recent.
come it doesn't come from her.
Yeah,
It comes from
it's another entity that takes over her body,
this
right?
power that's inside
Yeah.
her that they have to harness.
Yeah, this is her. This is her Hulk rage. It's like, hey, tap into that thing you can do. It's just a weird party trick. It's not a celestial creature. um, but yeah, you know,
You
they have
know.
to change things at their discretion.
That
I
last movie did not do very well.
well,
X-Men Apocalypse.
well, I wonder why Ivan Ooze versus the X Men should have uh should have really raked it in, but sadly
Mm.
it did not. Anyway,
Olivia Munn in her Psylocke cosplay at
yeah,
Art.
it's all it was cosplay because she didn't really do anything. Uh, she has like the one like trailer moment, and it's not much else. Just like, and I don't even want to go like into this movie again. But it's just like he just got whoever was around as his four horsemen. It's like, hey, I'm looking for this one person. Oh, you're here. All right, you're gonna be
And what was like,
Psylocke.
what was Psylocke's like motivation for joining up? Like,
She was just there, just
exactly.
like
At
oh,
least with like with Storm and like some of the other ones, and Magneto specifically, you get a little bit of backstory and like
yeah,
why they wanted to
yeah.
join up.
Angel's kind of down and out, and like that's a very thin explanation for this character we've never seen before. But at least there's something. But she's just like, I was
Yeah,
just
okay.
I was just in the neighborhood, so I guess I'm gonna destroy the world now. Sure. Anyway, moving
Fuck
off of
that.
that. Um, what else is going on? Oh, there's more TV news. What's going on TV tonight?
TV tonight. Hey, the shitty BET awards are on tonight. Are you gonna be watching them live?
I have not watched uh really any award show in some years. Like if
Seriously.
I will go back and watch like the Grammys because my wife wants to watch it, I'll fast forward through the presentations and speeches and just go to the performances and stuff. So I don't
Remember when like when
know.
you were a kid, you used to watch like the all the award shows and shit. And you would like look forward to the performances and stuff, and then like at some point, you just stopped watching. It just turned into bullshit.
I mean, I don't even feel like I ever had a point where I was like peak awards viewing time. I feel like there was like it was like a flat line, then there was a slight peak, maybe at like college age, and then it immediately slammed back down to a flat line again. I was never really interested in award shows.
Well, like the Grammys and like the Oscars, simply because it was like one of those big, pop culture things. Like, will your favorite movie, win this award, or who's gonna present, and what musical performances are gonna be there? And,
Nah, I never had that. I would be interested in who would win the Grammys the next day. It was just like, oh, Eminem is best new artist, cool. But it's like it never appealed to me as something to watch. Like I never even knew about like, oh, they always do mashups of like old artists and new artists until like recent years. I was like, okay, that's a cool little thing that I'll watch on YouTube later. Uh, I think the only shows that I was ever like hyped into watching based on like build up was like the Source Awards. It's just like, oh, there's gonna be violence. I guess I'll check this out.
but that you're not watching for the award. You're just seeing who's gonna get killed.
Yeah, and even then, I only watched like one
The
year's
Source
Source
Award.
Awards because it was like it was like on a hot streak of just like, hey, somebody got shot at the Source Awards. It's just like,
Hot
oh, I gotta
streak,
watch
if you
this.
will.
But then like I got bored and I continued on. It's just like this isn't what this is what I thought it was gonna be.
No,
They sh-
I came from for the killings, not for the acceptance speech.
they should revisit that era and just have an official like World Star Awards. Just like let's just give the people what they want.
Well, there's always YouTube.
Yeah. The YouTube is where everything lives. I mean, that's why like the VMAs doesn't make sense. Like, well, I watch all these videos on YouTube, so YouTube should really be doing their own award show. And I think they tried to do like comedy awards, which I don't know. Like, I can't remember
Well,
anything
the
from
BET
that.
Awards will be hosted by Leslie Jones.
All right.
Uh, Beyonce leads the way with 7 BET Award nominations. I'm sure she's excited.
I'm sure she's going to be there front and center to collect all of them.
Yeah, she just had a twins.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper will be honored with the Humanitarian Award. I'm
for
sure that's a
his
big honor.
decades of service, decades and decades.
I mean, these fucking these raggedy ass BET awards and shit.
I mean,
I just
they have a pretty trophy, but that's about it.
yeah.
Plus, it's weird
It,
that they always pick like, "Hey, you're a famous black person. You've never been on
exactly.
BET 1 second, but you're hosting our award show this year." Just like, all right, a gig's a gig. Um,
It's like one of those things where you like watch on like Twitter or whatever clip the next day to see what retarded shit happens because the actual award like nobody gives a shit about it. Like these
yeah,
celebrities don't like put like their BET award like in like a trophy case or whatever in their living room for
yeah.
guests to see. It's
I
like you just
just
watch it just to see like if some rapper yells some dumb shit or if somebody gets in a fight or
Yeah, it's
you
like
know.
the YouTube worthy clips. Those all trickle to the surface when when they're worthy. Like I'm just waiting for the point where that award is used as a weapon because it's super sharp. It's like a 3-dimensional star, just with those pointy edges. I'm waiting for that. Then then maybe I'll be interested in
Yeah.
tuning in after the fact.
And like whatever like a celebrity that we haven't seen in a while, shows up, either on stage or in the audience. It's always
Yeah,
interesting
because
to see.
they've done the new edition thing, which was a prominent part of their new edition story. Um, so who else can we clean up and get off of drugs and put on stage this year?
what what would like artists from like the '90s, like some R&B rapper from the '90s?
Trying to
Do you
think.
think they can fucking
Where
Tevin Campbell?
where's where's Case? Uh,
Jeez.
I could do with some touch me tease me from the Nutty Professor soundtrack. You're the only one for me, only one I need.
Man,
But
I was
yeah,
watching like I forget what commercial it was for, but it was like Boys to Men was like on the commercial. It was some like comedy thing, and like the
was it
one of the dudes,
Geico?
yeah, I think yeah, it was Geico.
I
Like
just
one of
saw
the dudes,
like a thumbnail for the commercial on YouTube, but I hadn't watched it.
like the skinnier one, like he has a fucking gray ass beard, and I feel old.
Yeah, well, I mean, you feel extra old when you look in the mirror and see one of those long gray hairs sticking out of your own beard, which is
Ugh.
experience I had today. Well, not today, but uh, it was earlier this week, and actually yesterday, I had this long, wiry, white hair sticking out of my head. It looked like a cat whisker. It was a different texture than all the other hair, so that's not that's not fun.
Cut that fucker out.
I mean, they're so numerous now that it's a waste of time to pluck all of the gray hairs because it's just like I'm legit going salt and pepper. Like, I think it started, shit, it's probably started like when I was 26. I'm now
Damn,
31, and now it's just continued. It's just like, okay, every other hair now is a gray hair
that's in
or
them jeans,
white,
man.
actually.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, I don't know whose genes they are. I mean, I guess it must have came from my mom's side because my grandpa literally had black hair until he was in his mid 60s, I would say. So I got to jump on him by uh, like 30 years or so. So there's that. I'm really upset about the ones in the beard. Though that's when I might finally break out the just for men. Like that beard is weird.
Hey,
That
your beard
stash
is
is
weird.
trash.
Fucking Walt Clyde
Walt
Frazier.
Clyde Frazier. Yeah. Mm,
Preacher returns tonight for season 2.
cool.
So
Um,
that's yeah, I didn't even know. That's awesome.
that one redhead kid can return to one of his many jobs because he was on that show, The Mick, and he's on Preacher. I'm sure he's on. He was on uh, a season of American Horror Story as a young vampire child. um, yeah,
Ass face returns.
yeah. What's going on with Ass Face? Is he still dead? Or still in hell? I guess you would say he's not dead, but don't you wish you could just tell someone to go to hell and they'll follow suit?
Yeah, we can only dream.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley season finale. T.J. Miller's character is leaving, so if you
Okay.
watch that show, you can see how he leaves. I
He's
don't
gonna be
watch it
killed off.
regularly, so he said he told USA Today he doesn't get killed off.
All right. Well, damn.
Missed
Uh,
opportunity.
yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think. There was a I forget. There was an episode where they were trying to calculate the likelihood of this one chick's boyfriend dying of doing some like weird stunt, and I think that's the last episode I saw of the series. So I'm a little bit behind on that one. So uh, maybe I'll catch up to see what happens at some point. I have a lot of shows to catch up on, but maybe I'll add that to the list.
I'm looking at some of these categories for the BET Awards,
All
and they
right.
have like a video of the year, and like
Okay.
the nominees are like Bounce Back by Big Sean.
No.
Two,
The answer for that is no, not at all. I don't even know what that video looks like, but that song is like nothing. But all right, go ahead.
2K Magic by Bruno Mars.
They, I guarantee they've never played that video on
Fuck no.
BET ever. Okay,
Uh,
what?
I like it. Sorry by Beyonce. I don't even know what that video looks like.
I mean, it's one of her videos on her
Dumbass.
visual album. I think that's the one with Serena Williams bouncing her ass as she sings. So I could see that being a top contender.
Cranes in the Sky by Solange.
Solange. It's a mellow song. It's a good video, but another one I doubt got barely any play on BET.
Lil Uzi Vert. Migos with Bad and Bougie.
If they wanted to go with something that their audience identifies with, that's probably the pick. But
Big ghetto ass
yeah,
fucking shit rap.
raindrop, drop top, put them some files on the Dropbox.
Dumbass songs.
Um, yeah. So bad.
Uh,
It's bad and bougie or Beyonce so far.
the BET Video Director of the Year award. Your nominees are Hype Williams for Gucci
Is he?
Snake's explicit.
Wait, you said what's the video?
uh, Gucci Snakes, the explicit version.
Gucci Snakes.
Yeah, I don't know what the
I didn't
fuck.
even know Hype Williams was still directing
Me
videos, let
neither.
alone Gucci Snakes.
Because you look
Okay.
at all of those famous video directors from the '90s and 2000s, they pretty much went on to like movies and
Yeah.
TV and shit.
Yeah. What's up with Little X? I think he's just is he Mr. X? I don't know.
Beyonce, who I assume directed her Sorry video.
Okay.
Director X for Like
Yeah,
I
it's
Would.
Director X. That's who he is now. Yeah, he used to be Little X. So he's
Now
still in the game.
he's graduated to
Yeah.
director.
Maybe that's what Bow Wow should have did. He should call himself Director Bow Wow. Commander Bow Wow.
uh, Benny Boom for Crazy, spelled CRZY.
Isn't Benny Boom the guy who directed the Tupac biopic? Because I think that's one of the things they used.
Claim to fame.
Well, not even that, but I think people were saying like, well, he's just a video director. It's not his fault. His movie's shitty. But yeah,
Isn't that like a movie like they're getting sued by somebody who claimed that they used some interviews or some shit for the movie? I saw that news story. I didn't investigate it that much because I didn't give a shit.
I mean, you talk about kicking somebody when they're down, but I wouldn't be surprised by that development of the story.
And the last nominee for Video Director of the Year, Bruno Mars for That's What I Like.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna start being more of a trend for artists to just start directing themselves because, like, how much diversity in music videos is there out there anymore. It's just like, hey, we're at a party, have all these random people standing behind me dancing, looking at the camera, or I'm in the street and I'm out and there's a bunch of people standing behind me dancing, or it's like there's not very many stories in music videos nowadays. That's why most of them you'll never even see. Like, I know Bad and Bougie is played on the radio like every half hour, but I didn't know what the video looked like, and I
Fuck
had no
no.
intention on checking it out. So it's just like all these. And imagine being a music video girl. Imagine this as a man, but being a
I
music
will.
video
Right.
model in the era where people literally don't see these videos at all. Like, how how desperate of a casting room is that at this point?
I
Because I
mean,
feel like it was
those
pretty desperate.
those Vivo videos get like millions of views depending on on who the artist is. I don't know if
I
that's enough
guess.
to like facilitate a living, but
I guess, but they're still the equivalent of like BET uncut level artists doing videos like
oh,
every week.
BET, I cut. I know it well. I
Yeah,
remember
I'm
it
saying,
well.
yeah, I'm saying, but you have that level of artists out there now, all shooting their own videos because we have the technology, and they still have dancers and strippers in their videos. Like, so that's like the
have you
bottom of the bottom of the barrel.
have you ever seen like a like some ghetto ass music video shoot near you?
I mean, I've heard friends of mine like, "Hey, we're doing this video out in Harvey. Come on out." It's like, no, thank you.
Motherfuckers be like shooting each other, getting killed and
Yeah,
shit
it's
during
just
the video shoot.
yeah, it's just like, oh, they live it. This is real. No, thank you. Like, I don't. It's, it's weird. I look at, there's a lot of artists from my area of Harvey, but it's just like the hoodest of hood. It's just like, hey, I grew up in Harvey and I rapped. I wanted it to be like the new Brooklyn, or like where it'd be conscious like boogie down production style groups
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
But it's like, nah, these all just straight
Garbage ass thug,
straight thug
cockroach,
gangster
stupid
rappers.
as hell.
Yeah.
Rapping about the same old shit.
Yeah, it's like I go down the block, then I shoot niggas, and then I go to the other block and shoot another nigga. So, all right, good luck with that career
Okay.
of yours. Uh,
That career trajectory.
yeah, uh, good
Fuck.
luck at the barbershop getting those spins, bruh.
Okay,
Uh,
this is the category I'm interested in your thoughts
all
in
right,
best male hip hop artist. This is the top award in all the awards. This is
all right.
the honor that all the male rappers fight for. Okay, J Cole.
I have an irrational hatred of J. Cole because every song I heard from him, at least for his like first handful of singles, were always samples of somebody else's song. So like I don't,
That's kind of lazy.
yeah, I don't appreciate anything by J. Cole based on that, because like I understand the old school thing of like, okay, we're sample like classic soul
Sampling.
riffs and stuff like that, but he like literally just came out the gate sampling other current rappers. I'm like, wait, what? Because his first song was like sampling Kanye's workout plan. It was like,
God damn,
it's like
it's
that's
just came out.
like that is a remix ending of one of his biggest hits, and you're just like, hey, I'm just riff on this for this single. And then what's his other song he has? What song where it's pretty much taking off the hook from 3 6 Mafia Project Pat, Don't Save Her, I think is the song that he's riffing on, this one song. It's like every other song I hear and just like, oh, that's from this other artist. And it just proves why I don't like him. Some people think he's a really great rapper, but I'm at the
Uh,
level of where I treat him like Chris Brown. I was like, oh, is that J. Cole? And turn the radio off.
I
It's
mean,
like,
Chance the Rapper is like a shit rapper, but because he's from Chicago, and so everybody think he's awesome.
yeah, it's like that Chance the Shocker. Go, you go, boy. It's I think of him as kind of like if my friend who I wasn't a fan of his art.
Exactly,
It was just
exactly.
like,
I was
good
talking to
for you.
somebody about that.
Yeah, yeah. Because
It
there
was like
was
this. it's like I don't listen to him, but he's my friend, and he keeps fucking telling me on Facebook to fucking like his fucking videos.
And it's funny because apparently we were, I don't know if he went to Roosevelt, but his friend Rodney Kyles in Rod We Trust, who was killed, and it was like one of his inspirations and like getting into his activism and all that stuff. I think he went to Roosevelt around the same time I did, and he must have worked in the same department as me or before me because I found like his CD in one of the computers. So I had listened to that, and I think his friend, who's not around anymore, but I was more of a fan of his music than Chance. So it's sad. Like you think about who survives. I mean, I'm not saying anything should have
The
happened. Chance,
talentless
yeah, but
survive.
it's just like, well, I really wish Amy Winehouse was still around, but we have Adele. I guess.
Mm.
It's just like if only I could pick.
There
Anyway,
isn't like one like Chance the Rapper song that's like a big hit that
no
I can
problems.
like.
You have
That's
a
another fucking.
problem, no problem with me. I hate that song. uh,
So anyway, like it's J. Cole, Chance the Rapper, Big Sean, Drake, and basically everyone you'd expect. Kendrick
yeah, the
Lamar and
usual
Future.
suspects.
Exactly. So who's
Uh,
gonna win?
no idea. Um, I'm gonna go for
This
a
very
wild card
important
pick
award.
and say Froggy Fresh.
He's not nominated.
He should be.
Yeah.
Froggy
It
Fresh should be nominated
the
every
the
year.
per, the winner is gonna be the one that agreed to show up and perform.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
usually how it works.
yeah. I mean, if they should follow the MTV formula and just go with Rihanna because she won Best Male Artist one year at the VMAs because of her song with I think it was Calvin Harris. It's like Best Male Artist, Calvin Harris for doing nothing on the song. Uh, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. The BET Award.
So what is the big award at the BET Awards? Because I know it's like best, like at the Oscars is
Because they
best
have acting
movie.
awards and they
Yeah.
have music awards and
Yeah, so it's like, what is the final one? Because like VMAs is like video of the year is their big one. So it's like, what is the thing to watch at the BET Awards? Just like Black Person of the Year.
best gospel inspirational album.
That's the one where, if I were watching, I would totally just use that as my bathroom break. And then they do their extra
Godless
long
Heathen.
like hey, that's my middle name. Um, but that's the one where they get like every gospel act there ever was on stage, and they just do
Kirk
this like
Franklin,
they do this 20-minute performance. Uh,
Yolanda Adams,
yeah,
fucking CC a Winans person, someone with the last name Winans.
one of the Winans. It's funny, like the Winans and Wayans are both families where it's just like I don't know. I lost track of how many there are.
Like the
CCBB, TT.
the
Uh,
Joiners, fucking Jackie Joyner, fucking Flojo.
yeah, but yeah. So I will not be watching until there's some YouTube uh, clips out there. Then maybe I'll see who called who out and who said they'd do whatever to the president.
Yeah, what
Those
comedian
things.
or person that's presenting is gonna say something stupid about
Yeah, there's gonna be the
whatever.
verdict on Leslie Jones's monologue, and there all the grades for that will come out, and then I'll judge accordingly if I watch that little chunk.
What do you watch on BET nowadays? Do you,
Nowadays, nothing.
yeah,
Uh, it,
exactly. I was just trying to.
it's funny because that would used to be like one of my like in the era of like having favorite channels. It was on my list.
It was
Uh,
always good for like a rerun of like fucking Martin or like the Parkers or some shit. Moesha.
yeah, and it's funny because like they are at their point where they have their most original content now, but it's just like nothing that interests me. Like even like Real Husbands of Hollywood was like, okay, this is funny. Then it just started to to peter out as far as my interest in it. I'm trying to think.
Today, for example, the Meet the Browns is on right now, and then after that, it's the new edition story in its entirety for the next how many? What, 6?
8 hours or
Yeah,
6 hours?
6 hours.
Yeah.
And then it's
Uh,
the BET Awards pre-show, and then the BET Awards, and then it's the BET Awards after party live show.
all right. So they're all set. So it's like they're playing their whole their greatest hits today. So check that out. If you're behind on the new edition story, it's a good chance to catch up.
I just remember like it was Video Soul, and then once that became 106 in Park with AJ and Free, that was every day at 5.
Yeah, I used to watch
I
that. I
watched
was
that.
a fan of Freestyle Fridays.
Freestyle Fridays,
Uh,
comedy, Comic View, of course.
yeah, that was one of those
The
shows where it was like,
PG rated Def Comedy Jam.
yeah, and I felt like every time I tuned in, it was a rerun. It was like I've seen this one.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly, exactly.
yeah, they. I mean, that's something that uh, could be brought back at any time and get decent ratings. Like I don't understand why that's not on.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like they changed it just became like what the park or whatever the fuck after 106 in Park, and then just faded away.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. There was, I think there was a campaign or rumor at least that Comic View was coming back, but I don't know what materialized out of that.
Midnight Love.
Midnight Love. I don't think I ever watched that. That was like that in
R&B kind of like
yeah,
romantic.
like Quiet Storm type music.
Yeah, exactly,
It was
exactly,
that
exactly.
was not my vibe. Never been big on R&B really. It's just
Yeah.
like enough about love.
You, Zach, you got all your news by watching BET Nightly News.
Um, I should check that out, but I haven't. I'd be interested in their take, but
Mm.
I just
You
haven't
interested
been
in
tuned in.
their unbiased take on the
Yeah,
news?
fair, black, and balanced. Emphasis on the black. Um, BET, we got you.
What was the one? It was the one show that came on every Saturday. That God, what the hell was her name? She was like a VJ. She started on BET, but then she became a VJ on MTV. The girl Amanda.
Uh,
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah, it sounds familiar. I'm trying to think. Uh,
Ananda Lewis.
Ananda, yeah, yeah. I
Whatever
think
happened to
she
her?
crossed over. I have no idea. Like there's those people that just like completely fall off the map because there was because I don't remember too many of the personality. I mean, obviously there's Free. She's still doing stuff. I
In
haven't seen
Boston on the
her.
radio.
Yeah, AJ was it Extra
Extra.
or Access Hollywood? One of
He's on
those.
one of
They're
those
the
shows
same
still,
show.
I think.
I haven't seen him in a while, so I'm not sure he's still on there. But yeah, and then there's the people like there's so many of them from MTV. There's like Jesse and
Yeah. Oh,
uh
Jesse.
trying to think. Once upon a time, Tyrese was a VJ on
Mhm.
MTV. Uh, but yeah, that's one of those things where they'll post that on Facebook, like, remember when blah blah was on here? Only '90s kids will remember this person. And it'll just be a screenshot of Kurt Loder. Uh,
Big Tigger with his no talent, pathetic ass.
it's freestyling in the basement. It was like,
His
I mean, I feel
bragging
like at
no
least there
shitty
was
ass.
I feel like that was at least the precursor to like we have like these clips of like somebody freestyling on the Wake Up Show with Sway. That's where we would get our celebrity rapper freestyles. Before that point, it's like, oh, let's see if this guy can really rap, and then some people would just go in there and bullshit. and then you would see it, and then it would censor every time they said nigga because they couldn't stop themselves. But
They couldn't help
there's
themselves.
that. No, no more basement. Was it basement with two S's? Was that what it was?
I think so.
In the basement, and his
Just be happy it wasn't a Z.
yeah, because it wasn't. It's supposed to be like Mama was upstairs. Mama took a,
Oh
and they
god.
were down in the basement. I think that was supposed to be like the gimmick of the show, but
I know you enjoy watching Rap City.
no. I mean, the basement was basically what Rap City turned into, though, wasn't it? Rap City,
Pretty
the
much.
basement. Uh, I think that was the actual Rap City was a little bit before my time. I think like that and like Yo MTV Raps was never something I actually watched. I remember
You just
like
heard about it, yeah.
yeah,
Me too.
like oh Dr. Dre and the
And
NWA were
Lover.
on there. It was just like, oh no, I'm talking about the actual Dr. Dre like as a guest. Like I always wonder like how they coexisted. Like how can there be two of you and you haven't murdered each other? Uh,
I'm sure they were able to.
there can only be one. Like
Yeah,
does one of them spell it out like Doctor Who, like Doctor Dre, or put an accent
probably.
over the e? It's just like uh, Doctor S Dre, because you can't have two Michael Foxes. One of them has to add a middle initial. And then everybody for all of eternity will wonder, like, where's Michael Fox gone? What's up with that guy's career?
Did you used to watch Teen Summit?
No, I don't even remember. What was that show?
It was like the show where it was made for like youth, obviously, and like
The
I think
Youths.
the youth, the young people. I think
Youngins.
it was just like they just talked about like teenage issues and shit, and they would be like a host. They would have like a host, and I think like Ananda Lewis was like the host sometimes. And
That sounds familiar. I think I've seen like maybe like a collective 10 minutes of that show maybe. It's one of those like B shows on a network that was mostly B shows. Um
I actually
yeah.
did on occasion will watch black college football,
Yeah.
historically black colleges
That
on
that
Saturdays.
in that hand egg. Yeah, that was definitely out of my wheelhouse. I was not in the Venn diagram of viewers of that show at all.
These black college football teams with the one quarterback.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, that's a white position. Uh,
Why is it a white position? Would you care to explain?
well, some people would say that there's born leaders, there's born followers, and you see,
It requires
Negroes
thinking.
are not in one of those categories.
It's 2017. If we have many black quarterbacks, that's
But it always be a white position to me. Whites only pies over here.
mm, very good.
There's that. This is from a non-sports aficionado. Anyway,
Anyway,
what else is on? I think we've covered everything that I possibly watched on BET because it was always a network I wanted to spend more time on, but they didn't have enough for me.
because you want to, yeah, exactly. It's like black entertainment television, but it's so it portrayed like black people and what black people watch in such a negative, fucking light. It was almost like this, like
Yeah, it's like
embarrassing.
we're stereotyping ourselves. It's just like, hey, there's more of us out here than just this. It's like, where's
Hip
our?
hop and fucking
And then it was just like, okay, if they wanted to get into anything more serious, it was like you get the super old black people. It's like, okay, let's talk about politics, black power, my brother, and like there wasn't a lot of diversity on
No.
a black channel. Just like,
Where like
okay,
the black nerd stuff? Where's like the video
yeah,
games or fucking superhero comics or
like
like
I'm sure that those shows were pitched to them several times. Just like, you know what,
ain't
I
black
I, I
enough?
don't I don't think it's black enough.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, yeah, but
They could
that's
have like
BT
home
for you.
improvement shows, car, mechanic shows,
Yeah,
fucking
especially
cooking shows.
like okay, black people, our whole existence is DIY, so you should have some kind of black take on one of those, like, not Love It or Listed. Well, there's this one show on HGTV called Rehab Addict, but I guess that title would not be very
Crackheads.
appropriate. But it's just like, okay, how can we do repairs and all this different stuff for cheap, because it's a lot of black people's concern. But it's just like, you know what? Forget all that. Just watch these videos. Uh,
The BET
the
Awards will be a perfect example of what the people who run this network think black people enjoy.
Yeah, this it should just be like bad and bougie video just playing on a loop. It's like, this is us. This is the best representation of us.
Old
The
reruns of
the
like
Migos.
shitty black sitcoms from the '90s.
I think that's
Fox.
probably in recent years. That's probably what I spend the most time on BT
Yeah.
watching. Is like
Uh,
that, and like uh those old like straight to DVD movies that they will play every so often. Um,
those Tyler Perry, whoever,
with those,
you know,
and like back in the day, they used to play the No Limit movies on there. It's just like, hey, here's Silk the Shocker in a
that was a
dramatic
Silk the
role.
Shocker movie I told you.
Yeah,
The one where he like his girlfriend gets framed.
yeah,
His nice clean girlfriend gets framed and she just dies in jail when she's beat to death and he has to avenge her.
yeah.
And Gary Busey was in it.
Like any of those No Limit movies, or even like the Rockefeller ones they did for a while. I think that
Hidden
was the
Dash.
place where I was seeing. It was on BET. So that was like that was their niche for me at least.
Um, you did you see that movie tonight? I see that you haven't written them or notes.
Yeah, I saw that on Broadcast Tuesday. That was my film du jour. Um,
Treat yourself.
yeah, it was. I think there were only four of us in the theater. I went to the 5 o'clock showing of Rough Night on Tuesday,
Not
but
doing so well at the box office.
yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked, but I did
You
enjoy
loved
it.
it.
Yeah, I liked it.
You would put
It
in like the top five of movies of the year.
Sure. I mean, if we want to narrow down the comedies, I can't even remember what comedies I've seen this year, but why not? There was a little bit of Weekend at Bernie's there,
I
which
got
is
that
always
vibe from
good.
the commercials. So they accidentally kill the stripper, right?
Yeah, and then
And
there's a
that's the whole
twist.
premise.
There's a twist where it's revealed like maybe killing this stripper wasn't so bad after all. And then they go to outrageous lengths to hide this body, but they think of every solution other than just chopping him up and disposing of. But yeah, there's if you ever wanted to see somebody uh, reluctantly engage in a threesome to hide evidence of a corpse on the beach, then that's a movie for you.
Why don't they just like say it was an accident and like just call the police as soon as it happens?
It's logic.
Stupid
um,
fucking.
the,
It's stuff like that that just makes me even just hate movies like this.
I mean, that happens in so many situations. Like, you know what? If you stop now, then everything will be more or less all right if you just explain it.
These
But
like these studio comedies with these little, basically like they come up with like some high concept idea, and then they just go from there. Like
it's
like
like,
that
well, we
that's the
want to
whole
get to
pitch.
point B, but like logically, the story should be over by now because this one normal situation would have ended in this way rather than all the twists and turns they made. It's funny because there was I'm trying to think. This movie fits into one of those categories of like the one night adventure movies, which used to be a big thing, at least in my childhood of movies I would watch on cable. Because did you ever see that movie Trojan War? It was
That's the one with the what's his name, Will Friedle from
Boy
Boy
Meets
Meets
World.
World.
Yeah,
Jennifer Love Hewitt was the girl, or was it some
yeah,
other?
yeah. It was
Okay.
Jennifer Love Hewitt, but I think there was I saw a list. It was either Screen Rant or one of those sites that listed like the lowest grossing movies of all time, and it was on the list. I was like, I actually kind of like that movie, but
I
the
didn't even know it came out in theaters, but that was like a
I
straight to
think
TV.
that was the twist of it because like the entire list was like movies I had never heard of. They're all like indie movies, really. And this was the only movie that was like an actual studio produced movie, like a major studio movie. And the twist on why it was on the lowest list was that they I guess during production like the studio lost faith in it and then they only ended up putting it in one theater. So it made like $300.
Well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, but like the gross of its box office revenue is $300, so it's still noteworthy for that. But I enjoyed that. It's like this guy running around town trying to get a condom. I think I watched that on like HBO when I was maybe like 12 or something. Just like, this
Wow,
is what an adventure.
that perfect time
Like
in a
why not?
boy's life.
Like why not just go in raw? That's what little Zach was thinking. Um,
I love
yeah.
that. I love that word to describe that.
Ooh, baby, I
Raw.
like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw.
People need to say that more.
Raw. I mean, there's always been the way I thought of like raw,
Nice. Good on you.
like meat. I mean, it's meat, so
Exactly.
it's not. You took the cellophane off.
Baby,
It's
come
just raw.
on. Baby, come on. Baby, come on.
We need somebody like. It's funny because like when you look back and listen to like old Dirty Bastards music,
The
like
comedy rappers, like the
yeah,
fucking, like they're self aware and they just don't give a
yeah.
shit.
Nowadays, you have the people whose comedy comes from their lack of self awareness. It's just
Exactly. Unintentional
like
comedy.
who thought that this would sound good? Like hot up, drop top, you need it right now.
You're being serious with
It's
this
just
shit.
like really, like you thought this was presentable. Like I've recorded stuff like that I just deleted. Like you know what, I
Like
can't publish this.
who is taking that sort of like that Eminem or whoever like mantle of
Yeah,
like
like
being like
actually
the pop
sculpting
culture.
jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Like the jokey
that's why I used
rapper.
to love Ludacris because that was like it was like his claim to fame, but then he just
Yeah.
became another rapper. It was just like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm just
That
rapping.
money, Fast and the Furious money. That's what
Y-
Hollywood does to you.
Yeah, he lost that gut, and then I guess he decided he wanted to be one of the cool kids. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
Hollywood actor.
I know from the high school age into current day, my friend Dan Jarrell was always all about comedy rap. I think he still does music. I think he said he wants to move away from comedy rap, but that was always like what I loved because he would have his CDs at school, and like he's always somebody I have his stuff on my iPod. It's just like I need some good comedy rap, and I have a
Yeah.
playlist that has like ludicrous stuff and his songs in there. There's
Nice.
no like
I would love to hear
mainstream,
that.
yeah, because I think uh, he's got a lot of good songs like "Can I Get Your Booty on Layaway." It's a good one. There's one of them that we used at the intro of one of our episodes a while back. Cause I think we're on like episode 65 so far. So think about all that time we've wasted. Um, but like one of the episodes a while back, I used this song "Crank That Standstill" because it's basically like a takeoff of "Crank That Soldier Boy." But like, I think about when that song came out, I was like, hey, they for all these like mannequin challenge videos, they used like the song Black Beatles, which had no connection with what was actually going on. It was just like, randomly that became associated with it. I was like, this song is literally about a dance where you don't move. So I always think about that when I see those mannequin challenge videos. But
Even when you look at somebody like Kanye, like even from like the beginning, he was a little like
he had more of a unique angle. It's just like, oh, you're just a rapper now.
yeah, exactly. And
Like,
he still kind of took himself seriously and was like a big jerk, and
yeah,
he wasn't lovable.
he had the ego to where it's just like, oh, I see where this could go, and then he just leaned into that wrong
Yeah,
side of it.
and now he's lost forever.
Yeah, because I think like even like going back to Eminem, I always enjoyed that, and I like that slant that he had on it. But I think like the turn he made was when he did the guest spot on that Akon song, "Slap That." I was like, oh no, he's going to the dark side. Like it was just like a a verse that you could have just heard any black rapper say. It's just like, oh, there's nothing special about this verse.
Yeah, it's like not, you can clearly see like now he's just like he just wants to be like a good MC now. Like
Yeah,
he wants
he's
to like
now he now wants to break
his legacy.
records. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's just like okay, like all right. I mean, it's like those people that just train to have anything in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's just like okay, I'm gonna see how many spiders I can balance on my eyelid. I just gotta find any record and break it. I feel like that's the type of mode he's in now. He's not really about just like crafting jokes. Um, but yeah,
Like
we need
I'm
more
trying to
comedy
like
rappers.
yeah like do you know who Bass God is?
Yeah, from he's a
He's a
West Coast rapper, right?
he's a dumbass rapper that keeps putting curses on like basketball players,
Curses? Okay.
or like James Harden, like Kevin Durant and
Do
shit.
do they work to your knowledge?
No, of course not. But it's like I'm thinking like I haven't really listened to this stuff. I don't know if it's like comedy based in that sort of that sort of like Buster Rhymes ludicrous
I mean, I know
area,
there's
but
I feel like I guess
I think he does
the
like
people in
straight rap.
I think the people in like an odd future are in that coming slightly from that perspective, but I feel like it's weird just like
This shit just ain't fun anymore.
yeah, and it is funny because like they're like West Coast, uh, like millennial black kids from the West Coast are very different. I've only hung out around a few of them, but they have a weird culture like black kids that skateboard and stuff like that. So that's what their odd future click. They have more
Nice,
of that going on.
more laid back, and
Yeah,
they're not
like
like super serious and like fucking like socially conscious.
yeah, it's like
I was I'm
black kids who
smart.
clearly watch Jackass. It's like that's
Exactly.
where they come from. So I've heard a few of like Tyler the Creator's songs that were funny, but then there's also the ones that are like extremely angry. So it's like need that diversity of music out there because there's just a lot of stuff that's just like
You just got like
you don't know who this artist is. They sound
it's
like
like
the
there's
other
two
guy.
kinds of rappers now. It's like fucking either like you're like this super serious, like socially conscious, lecturing rapper, or you're like this fucking dumbass, drugs and girls and money and
Mumbling
guns and
garbage
shit.
talker. Like I didn't like that. It's just how I continue to feel older and older each day. It was like when I found out the fact that mumble rap was an actual genre. It was like really, like that's a thing. And then I've seen like arguments against it. Just like okay, here's all these like mumblecore artists. It's like really, this is a whole group of people who just like their intention is to not be understood. It seems like, But yeah, old,
Yeah.
old people, right?
Am I
That's,
right?
that's,
Am I right?
that's me. Because I feel like also my friend Dandro is quite the entrepreneur. He's a comedian. Also, he has a T-shirt company, and he was modeling one of his recent T-shirts. It just says "Today's Music," and it has like a picture of a trash can. It's like I really want to buy that
I
shirt.
get it.
Yeah, but it's just like I don't want
You
to
don't want
be
to be
too
like that guy. It's
old.
like exactly like back in my day, like all this music to
Yeah, it's
me
like
sucked. Like,
I
come on,
feel like that more and more, but then there's like
get off my
there
lawn.
is there's still stuff I like. It's just not played on the radio. It's just like I have to do more digging to find stuff that I enjoy currently.
I tell you, man, I have the tune in app and the fucking whatever that iHeart Radio app on my phone for
Is
some
there
reason,
anything good out there?
and
Anything
every
good
once
out
in a
there?
while, it's like once a month I like go, well, I'll listen to, fucking Kiss
Radio.
FM or whatever B96, and it's like, oh, it's the same fucking song they're playing once or twice an hour. Oh,
Yep. It's like and it's the worst when you like go from one station to another and literally hear the same
same
song.
ass song. Like some of like they're listening to the other station, they're competitors, and they just got you playing that song, so now they gotta play it.
Yeah, it's like it's and too often they'll be like at the exact same point in the song, just like it just go back and forth during the presets. It's like wow, they like must have talked to each other on the phone about this. Just like why is this happening? Um, but yeah, so um, I need more good music and not God music, but good music.
Why are you still watching Fear the Walking Dead?
I don't know. I'm a masochist. Actually,
You're a completist.
I watched the 2 episode premiere, which was like 3 weeks ago, I guess. I have not seen the most recent one, and then it comes on again tonight.
Are
And
they
I'm
still like
almost
on the fucking zombie boat or what a yacht zombie or?
they've been off the boat for a while.
That's
They're
how long. I
they've
don't
been
follow.
captured by this military group, and then they've been taken to this ranch where this guy the episode 2 of this it was like a 2-part premiere a couple weeks ago. It had the first thing that I thought was creative and different from the main Walking Dead show. They just had an intro where this guy was he's basically a doomsday prepper. He was just doing his commercial of like you get my survival bucket and da da da. So I enjoy that part of the episode, and I
So
feel like they might be taking a slight twist on the story, but
this
it's
fucking
still
show is it's supposed to be a prequel to the events of The Walking Dead, even though they're
yeah,
just following the same pattern of The Walking
yeah,
Dead, where they get captured by humans or they have to fight other humans while zombies are around.
yeah. So it's
Fuck that.
and the problem with it is that, and I'm getting to the point where like I've been watching it and I've like it's weird that I started reviewing TV shows on YouTube through the Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know why I was ever motivated to do reviews of that show, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to review this show anymore because that means I have to watch it every week. And now being a week behind, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just watch them all when it's over. Because like
When it's
keeping up with that
over.
is like not a priority. Especially like when Game of Thrones, things like that are gonna be on. It's
Yes.
like, nah, I'm good, son. Um,
What, what is easy CS split that I see right here?
oh, I wanted to keep it cryptic, so we could save it for
Yeah.
the end. Uh,
Congratulate. Well, we're at the end, I guess. So.
All right. So here's a segment that we should maybe we should start branding this for the non fans out there. But here's a little bit of
Okay.
wrestling talk.
Oh, I
So
know what it is.
are you caught up with your wrestling for the week?
I'm probably more caught up than you are, sir.
All right then. Uh, so you've watched NXT as well.
I know that Ember Moon has returned and she beat Billy Peyton Royce.
Has she gotten rid of those goddamn contacts?
No.
Because like I would be a really big fan of Ember Moon because she has the most devastating move in all of wrestling. But those goddamn red contacts or sometimes white are really creepy. Uh, but anyway, so what did you think of the split between Enzo and Big Cass?
I thought the whole lead up to it was stupid and dumb, and uh, the whole fucking like Kurt Angle, like doing his investigation. It was stupid.
Yeah.
The whole
Oh,
fucking,
I heard
the
the
whole fucking
best.
what's his face? Corey Graves with his fucking
His
security cam.
evidence. Oh, I heard the best like recap of that like on the RBR podcast, but they were just like Kurt just said
I'm gonna
like
get down to the bottom of
yeah,
this.
like I'm gonna solve this week. Like really, like it's been a mystery for like a month. He's just gonna solve it this week. But and then he comes out and brings out two people. I mean, two groups that he immediately dismisses as
And
suspects.
then he goes like, "Well, those are
It's
all
like,
the."
well, you said you were gonna solve it. Like, were you just gonna leave if Corey Graves didn't chime in? Because he didn't have it, the definitive evidence. It's just like, oh, it came out with nothing.
The
Like, why?
revival and Big Show and
Yeah, like, why
fucking.
would you even invite them out if you were gonna immediately dismiss the suspect? It's just I just wanted you guys to come out.
But the actual split with Big Cass revealing himself, I thought that was a pretty good. Like
Damn
everything he
right, I
said,
did it.
everything he said was true,
Yeah,
and
like you could clearly see that Vince McMahon wanted this to happen from the moment they came to the main roster. It's like, you know what? We're never gonna have them win a title, and we're gonna make sure that anytime they're pinned, Enzo is the guy who gets pinned, because that's been the theme. Like when they win the match, it's because Big Cass gets the hot tag and he cleans up and wins the match. If they get pinned, it's because Enzo came up short.
we want Cass to be a singles wrestler.
Yeah,
We
because he's so special. He's really got that it factor.
yeah.
Um, yeah, he's he's our modern day Kevin Nash, and you know what a moneymaker Kevin
Yeah.
Nash always was.
The WWF doesn't run on Diesel.
Yeah. Um, it's funny. I was looking at like a thread of people talking about the most overrated wrestlers of all time. It was just like, and like I didn't see. I saw all these names you'll recognize, main people like Goldberg, Bret Hart. Then somebody mentioned Kevin Nash. I was like, that's actually right. It was
Yeah.
like I've never in my mind thought like I want to go back and watch that classic Kevin Nash.
Fuck no.
Like the most I've ever thought of that, it was like, oh, where's that time he broke the Big Show's neck? And then I would look that up on YouTube and just like, oh yeah, he really sucked. Um, but yeah,
So what do you
so
think is gonna? Do you think that like Enzo is gonna be like a cruiserweight, or you think that they'll just have him be with like Big Show, or will this be like another gimmicky comic
I
wrestler?
mean, there's all kinds of rumors that like the company isn't happy with Enzo for some reason, and that this they don't really have much planned for him
Conor
outside
McGregor
of this.
stuff.
So I don't know. I feel like Enzo is the obvious upside of this split. Like there was a time where people were like saying like, "Oh, so and so is going to be the Genetti of this team," like when the Rockers split, and obviously Shawn Michaels went on to Stardom, and Marty Jannetty went on to be Marty Jannetty. Um, so I feel like Enzo is the Michaels of this situation, but they really
It
intend
all
on it being
depends
the
on whether or
opposite.
not he can. Yeah, I think that's some pretty strong praise for fucking Big
I
Cass.
mean, a more apt comparison would
Yeah,
be like the Hardys. Like Enzo
sure.
is the Matt Hardy because he'd be over and he could do his exact same shtick by himself, just like pretty much what Jeff Hardy did solo. And I guess that's probably the best they could hope for with Big Cass is a Matt Hardy type of story. Like he's gonna struggle for a while and then eventually find some footing, and then never really be on equal footing with his former partner, but he'll still have his own lane. But they're gonna have to do a lot of work with Cass, because like I can't even picture what their gimmicks are gonna be separate. I mean, obviously Enzo's thing is pretty much gonna be the same, but Cass is gonna
Yeah, they're
have
gonna
to,
have to do like a full like overhaul
yeah, gonna
because he's
have
a
to
heel.
start from scratch with Big Cass, because it's like that's why. I mean, I guess Carmella was able to do it because she's a heel and she had this ranting shtick that was like, okay, people are supposed to hate this now, but it's like Big Cass is not really the guy who talks in the group, so like, how do you interpret his character now? Because you can't do the big call and response thing that was his only part of the routine.
I wonder what like I don't remember like before when they first started in NXT. I don't know if he had a
Any
gimmick
solo
before.
run,
Uh,
I don't know. Also, it's like, did they recorded their theme song together? So don't they have to like change that, like take the soft part out of it? Yeah, it's like, so is Enzo gonna take that, or is he just gonna cut that part out of the promo? Uh, all so many questions.
so many questions that I mildly want to know the answer to.
And it's funny. It's like now the two of the top heels, like on each show, is like on one show it's Big Cass, and on the other show it's Carmella. So I feel like they went to some kind of like heel boot camp over the weekend or something. It's just like, you know what? I am somebody. I'm gonna
Oh,
dominate this week.
we didn't talk about the women's Money in the Bank
Yeah.
ladder match.
A lot of people are mad about the result of that, and I'm just happy my prediction was right. It was right to a T, because James Ellsworth won the match.
Yeah, this wonderful iconic moment in the first ever women's Money in the Bank match where you climb the ladder and get the briefcase. We didn't get that.
Had a man climb the ladder and give it to a woman. I mean, a lot of people are really mad about that aspect of it, but I feel like before they undid it, they played it out the best way possible. It's like, because like out of all the people in the match, Carmella was the only one who should have been even in the conversation of winning it.
Yeah, I
And
don't disagree with her winning it. It's just how she didn't win it. Like James Ellsworth won it and gave it to her.
yeah, but the whole idea, like, and I'm thinking like maybe this is ends justifying the means, but like her promo, like response to that was perfect. It was just like, hey, I was picked last in the draft. Nobody considered me a contender, and now you all have to eat it because I won the briefcase. And you couldn't have her win it fair and square because half the audience would have been chanting, "You deserve it," and then a promo wouldn't have made sense. So she had to cheat in the Money in the Bank match, and there's not a lot of ways to cheat. So
It's just that
that's,
him going up the ladder and getting the briefcase is like the only part of all of that was stupid. And
I mean, how else can you do it? Like have her get on
you
his
could have had
shoulders and
you could have
and
had
walk her.
Ellsworth. You could have had Ellsworth to like interfere by like
He can't like
like
beat up the women though.
no, but he
So
could have like moved the ladder or something and had him fall off, or he could have like pulled somebody's leg when the ref wasn't looking, and then like distracted them outside the ring or something like that.
I mean, I feel like that would have, like, in terms of like looking back on it a week later, I feel like that would have been forgettable. And I feel like the the
And this was better.
humongous outrage that this caused,
It
I
was
feel
worth
like
it.
that's I feel like it's worth it if they hadn't undone it. Because just like, okay, you want nuclear heat on this one character, and she got the biggest heat that any female heel has ever gotten since like Vicky Guerrero. So I feel like that's what you want for this character to be your new heel contender. So like
Yeah,
that's
and
how they
like
accomplished it.
in the whole like thing about this being the first women's ladder match, Money in the Bank match. Who gives a shit about female equality and like all of that stuff.
I mean, it's not who gives a shit about it, but it's just like, okay, is the
They
does
ran like a
the
little
end of
video
the match
package
undo
before the
the
match.
entire match itself?
They ran like a little video package before the match started, involved these great women and like, the Hell in the Cell match with Sasha and Charlotte and all these other Lita and fucking, Trish Stratus, and then this happens right after it.
Yeah, but it's like equality means equality, and like Carmella mentioned, it's like, hey, there's been at least a handful of incidents where people have had outside people cheat for them in the Money in the Bank match. So I just did that too. It's not saying that she couldn't climb the ladder. She made her runs at it herself, but she's a heel and she cheated. It's just like it happened to be a man who was her accomplice, but the heel's gonna heal.
But the whole climax of the Money in the Bank match is that actual that video that we'll see years later of climbing the ladder and unhooking the briefcase and holding the briefcase in in victory. Like,
Yeah,
we
but
didn't
like,
have that in the first ladies Money in the Bank
so
match.
what happened in the first men's Money in the Bank? Does anybody remember?
Fuck. No, I don't remember.
So it's like in the grand scheme of things, what's the big deal? Is this was the first one? Sure, it didn't end how everybody thought it was going to end, but like if you if this is the result you wanted after it, you want this heel to be to come to the forefront, and you want to bring a
Why did
person.
they have to have like a gimmick end, like a stupid ending for like the first one? Why couldn't they just do it in like the second one or like later on?
I mean, like what has been happening in the WWE for the past 4 months that's gotten anybody's attention? Like,
Dumb shit,
like
stupid,
nothing has gotten
poorly
anybody's
written crap.
attention. They had the worst ratings they've ever had, and within like the past handful of weeks. So, like, this got people's attention. They don't they don't know if
For
they
the,
can wait
like
a
for the
year
most
from
negative
now.
reasons.
Yeah, but they don't know if they can wait a year from now to do this angle that they have an idea for now. Maybe one person won't be around. Maybe their TV contract won't get renewed because that's coming up sometime soon. So like they need eyes on the product for whatever reasons.
Do you think that I don't know what the ratings or whatever? Do you think that this is like this decision is what's gonna? Do you think that this was like the best decision in regards to like getting people to like buy the paper, buy the network and watch SmackDown?
I mean, I think it definitely got people to watch SmackDown. I don't keep track of the ratings on a week to week thing, but I know there was a lot of people writing about the results of the pay per view and
The two like
showing.
gimmick endings for the first two matches, the tag team match and this.
Yeah. So like there was a lot of attention on the pay per view, however people watched it. So that it accomplished one goal. Uh, I feel like the biggest mistake in all of this is just redoing the match for next week. Just like,
On an episode of SmackDown.
yeah, I mean it's hot shotting SmackDown so they can get a rating by having a Money in the Bank match on the show. So I understand that aspect of it, but like they went through all this work and got all
That
this
is kind of stupid. Yeah.
and they got all this anger and then immediately just take it away. It's like I didn't like that aspect of it. It's like, okay, you made people mad, deal with it. But it's just like, okay, we're taking it away. It's like, what was the point of all of that then?
It's admitting they made a mistake.
Well, I didn't feel like it was a mistake. It's them clearly taking a stand on that being how they feel about it. But like now it's like if Carmella wins again, then
which
you
he
wasted all this
most likely
time.
will. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just like, okay, there's still nobody in this match I want to see get it, but then you've like taken away
Not a
the best.
Tamina fan.
No, I mean, in that promo that they gave on SmackDown,
Oh
ugh,
yeah.
that was like
Gotta put the emphasis on you there,
that was
Tamina.
the worst thing ever. because it's like literally it's just the exact same line. It's just like, or you're gonna start looking like James Ellsworth. It was like,
No, you're gonna start looking like James Ellsworth.
like, no, that was bad all around. It
I'm
was
like,
bad on the part of the writers. It was bad delivery by Tamina. It was all
when
bad.
I saw it live, I'm like, did he just say the exact fucking same thing?
It's
Jesus.
just like, oh my god. Like then people are thinking like, did she forget her line and just say Charlotte's line over again, or did Charlotte step on her line? It's just like either way, like whoever wrote that should be fired because like you shouldn't have had the option of that ever happening live. So yeah, that was SmackDown for this week. Uh, uh, yeah. Any other highlights from the week in wrestling before we wrap up the show?
Fuck no.
All right. So with that, we can close out, and you can tell people where they can tweet at you.
Tweet at Anthony Hoffman. I'm on Facebook. Just type in Anthony Hoffman, and on Instagram at Tony Hoffman Shy. Tony Hoffman CHI.
And I'm on the Twitter at Zach Reviews. That's ZAC Reviews. I'm on Facebook. You just look up Zach Hughes. I'm one of those. Guess which one? I'm on youtube.com/Zach Hughes. And you can, I'm posting a little bit more on Instagram. You can find me at ZH Radio. Also, check out the podcast on Twitter at Frustrated Grad, on youtube.com/frustratedgrads, where you can see the video version of the podcast. And if you want to hear the audio, where we have exclusive audio bonuses, you can check out frustratedgrad.com, iTunes, Google Play Podcasts, and wherever else you get your podcasts from. And if you like what we're doing, go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, tell us what you like about the show. And if you really like what we're doing, go to frustratedgrad.com and donate. So, with that, I will say that is it for this episode of the Frustrated Grad podcast. Thanks for watching. If you're watching online, thanks for listening. And that's all you get for today.